We are live with Adam. We're going to have some people. We're going to give them a minute to come and join us because right now that number says 0, and that's no fun, obviously.
It's just me and you, JB.
As we're waiting for people to come in and join us, I wanted to kind of talk a little bit about the video we put up this morning. Where did that come from? You know, we talked about a little bit about you putting the video together. I asked you to do something with the backyard. You know, we're both big Seinfeld guys. Tell me a little bit about where this all took place and how the inspiration came from.
Well, I love Jerry Seinfeld. All-time favorite, #1 comedian for sure. Went and saw some of his live stand-up. I mean, just love Seinfeld. Seinfeld, favorite show of all time. So Comedians in Cars Getting Coffee is one of my favorite little viral videos to watch. And I've always had that idea to do a concept of Comedians in Cars Getting Coffee. I actually pitched it to Bridgestone a couple of years ago to do it golfers in a golf cart talking golf and get, you know, Matt and Lexi and all of our guys to kind of ride around. The problem is it does take a decent amount of time when we have a shoot to get them in a car and, you know, get them in a cart and drive them around and do stuff like that. So it seemed a little longer than we wanted to do for Bridgestone. So when you came to me and said, hey, here's some questions, and I basically asked like, hey, can I do a video? And I'm at home, and I was actually going to do it kind of by myself. And then there is Henry jumping in the room every 20 minutes while I'm trying to work. And I thought, well, let's utilize the kid. So I kind of had him on board and told him like, hey, I got this fun project I think you might want to help me with. And so he was excited through the day, and he kept asking like, when are we going to do it? When are we going to do it? So I said, let's go outside. Let's do it in the treehouse, and it could be fun. And then I thought, well, I've got a lawnmower that he likes to ride around in the backup, so let's treat that as the car. So I kind of took the concept and kind of built it out to do the questions. And anyway, love Comedians in Cars Getting Coffee. So it was very easy for me to kind of build that and be creative around that project.
So when you were putting it together, obviously some serious editing work, you're working from home. We're all working from home, being told to stay in. How has your work day-to-day changed from that aspect?
Well, I've actually gotten a lot more busy over the last few weeks. We're trying to stay a little bit more active on digital and social and be more interactive with people out there. So it's gotten a little bit busier, email wise, talking to consumers and trying to just feed them content. We're trying to be cognizant of what everybody's going through. I mean, it's a tough time for a lot of people, but we just want to be somewhat of a relief to where you can watch something funny. We've been doing some good interviews with our players here lately. Posted some stuff from Matt talking at home and talking about things, and we have some really great stories. Next week we're going to kind of break around the guys talking about the Masters. Matt
dropping the big teaser bombs.
That's right. Matt has an amazing story about playing with Tiger when he was an amateur in '98. Lexi has a great story. Talked to her this morning. So we have some great content, but my few weeks here have gotten a lot busier, which is good. I like it, and I like being at home and being able to kind of work through some of this stuff and edit some stuff and do some fun projects that I was able to do for you guys.
For those who haven't seen it, head over to either our Facebook page where you're watching now or thehackersparadise.com and watch the video we put up. It's called Behind the Content. Adam's take on comedians with cars. I wanted to squash a rumor right away. There is no truth to the rumor that you get more work done because Elliot's not around.
I mean, I can definitely filter my Elliot time now. So if I need a little bit more Elliot, I can give him a call and FaceTime. If not, but all kidding aside, we've been really good working on the back end and talking to each other live. We Zoom info meeting, or we Zoom meeting each other a few times a week just to kind of see some face-to-face. And
has Zoom become a verb?
I mean, Zoom's become something. I mean, I'd love to have some stock in Zoom before all this was going on.
Something's not secure. We know that as of today. But.
Yeah. So no, it's been good. I mean, we're lucky enough in marketing and some of the activities we have going on to be able to do it away from the job. I mean, yeah, it's always good to interact with people in the office and really get that creative juices flowing. But we definitely kind of held our own in the working from home aspect.
Before I start diving into some product, is this like in training? Does this work?
Yeah, I didn't have this before the quarantine, so I'm here and I see you're getting a little bit as well. So
Yeah, that's
congratulations.
called late. You know what I find is during this, I find I start work earlier and finish later, so the idea of shaving is just
Right.
out the window.
Yeah, it's tough. I basically don't have to shave every day, but I do. Obviously, I don't have any up here, so I do have to maintain
Well, there is
a little
that.
bit.
Yeah. I want to throw up a question for you because not that one. This one. Sorry about that, Obed. He watched your video today, and he would like to know the green speed.
It's more of a target green than an actual rollable green. Right now, it's definitely pretty slow. But when I first built it, obviously I worked in R&D when I first started building it, and I had the kind of the ear of Andrew, who's an R&D facility site manager, but he also was a superintendent. He worked at Innisbrook before, and
Hey, that's right down the road from our office.
Exactly. So I really leaned on him. And when I first got it built, the blade was never really quite small enough to be able to actually make a green. There was some testing with some Zorja greens on some properties, but it wasn't quite small enough, the emerald blade that I have. But I had it, I mean, not that it's rolling fast, but I had it at a 6 or a 7 probably when I was
Which I know on the internet golfer scale is like shag carpet, but in reality, they don't realize you can actually play on that. We're going to jump to some product questions, and you guys launched a new lineup. Obviously, you're pretty excited about that. I'm throwing up the Tiger Woods picture to make Adam excited. Not obviously thinking back the best time to launch a product. Not that you guys did anything wrong, but nobody predicted this. But what we're finding is people still have a ton of questions about the product, and we'll get into fitting them a little bit. But I want to throw up some people have some questions on the ball, the differences, the ball that might be right for them, and there's nobody better to answer it than you. So we'll start with this one.
Okay, so great question. The RX and RXS. So basically, those balls are designed for swing speeds that are under 105. A softer core design in them. But the biggest differences between those two balls, the RX and the RXS, is the RXS has a much softer cover on it than the RX. It's really a ball designed for somebody that puts a premium on spinning the ball and controlling the ball around the greens, whereas the RX is kind of putting a more premium on a little bit straighter flight, a little bit more distance off the tee, and a little bit more accuracy. So it's one or two or the other. The RXS, a little bit more spin and control around the greens, and the RX, a little bit straighter flight and more distance off the tee.
Feel-wise on full shots, compression's pretty similar, right?
Yes, the compressions on each of those, when you're hitting them on a full shot from probably 9-iron to all the way up to driver, they're going to feel pretty similar on those shots because the only major difference is the cover. So on full shots, it's hard to feel that 2 millimeter cover, but around the greens is really where you're going to get that added benefit of the RXS.
Justin wants to be sold on an E12. He swings at 105. Which one are you selling him?
Whew, you swing right at 105. So you're kind of right there at that threshold of, I mean, it's clearly no line in the sand. 105 is really years and years ago a line that we found in R&D to where kind of that slope happens to where you get a little bit more benefit in the high speed region for a firmer ball, and you get a little bit more from a soft ball right at that point of 105. So it's not an 100% one way or the other. We found people that swing 107 or 103 can kind of jump back and forth. It's just kind of a little bit of a line in the sand we drew to kind of get you fit. So if you're right at that line, it's going to really come down to your preference of feel on the golf ball with the E12. Both of them are designed to be less spin off the tee, and the dimple pattern is designed to straighten up a little bit more compared to the dual dimple. It has a delta wing dimple, which flies a little bit differently from the air. So the E12 Speed is going to have like a firmer, more solid feel, and then the E12 Soft is going to have a softer feel. So basically 7-iron and back, you're going to feel a little bit softer feel. It's going to feel a little softer on your chip shots. The cover is a little bit softer on the E12 Soft as well.
When you guys merged, or I should say unmerged, the E series from 5, 6, and 7 to just 6 and now 6 and 12, would you say that E7 player, the one that really liked it and misses that ball, would benefit possibly from the E12 Speed?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, it's not going to sit here and lie. The E7 kind of merged down to that E12 Speed because the E7 was always the more piercing flight.
Yeah.
A little bit more
the
solid
ultimate
core.
scramble ball, people used to call it.
Exactly. So it has a little higher compression core. So the E12 Speed is kind of where everyone from E7 kind of generally migrated to. And it's a little bit straighter than the previous version of E7 because of the new dimple pattern.
New question.
It's out
just
there.
Just came.
Yeah, it just launched a few weeks ago. Again, JB mentioned it, timing, but it did launch a few weeks ago. I think March 15th is when it hit the market for the most part. And we kind of did that, obviously lining up the Tiger Edition, moving into the Masters, to give it a little bit of time to get out in the marketplace. So it is out there. Everyone who has put orders in should have received the Tiger Woods edition by now. So it should be in market.
Mine have not arrived yet.
Ooh.
We're going to have words about this.
I know how big of a fan you are.
I put this question up on the screen because this is something that I think we can kind of dive into a little bit in a little while as far as fitting goes. But I wanted to talk a little bit about compression and how that relates to spin and speed. And I'm literally using my hands in part of the screen that they can't see. So
yeah, I know it's hard.
Yeah. So if we hear a lot of, well, if something's a lower compression, and people write this on the forum all the time, and I want to correct them, but do so in the appropriate way. If something is low compression, yes, that's going to alter the feel, but there is a difference in the actual performance of the ball. And I know we have a video with Canadan about this, but firmer compression, and you can correct me if I'm wrong here, but a generalization is firmer compression, firmer golf ball will be slightly faster and have a bit more spin. Mm-hmm. Lower compression might reduce some miles per hour on ball speed, but will have a spin reduction.
Yeah, a lower compression golf ball is always going to deliver a more forgiving feel on full shots, especially on driver and long irons. So if you're looking for a ball that is going to kind of take away some spin, aka be more forgiving off the tee, a lower compression ball will certainly do that. I mean, higher compression balls will spin more off the tee, spin more with your long irons. Depending on the cover, obviously, will spin more around the greens because the firmer compression mantle layer and core will pinch against the urethane and make it spin more. It depends on how soft you make it. But on longer shots, you're basically optimizing all the golf ball. You're not hitting it at a tangential force to where it's going to be cover and mantle layer. You're hitting it more straight on. So you're going to optimize the whole entire golf ball. So a softer core golf ball is going to take away spin. It's going to smush to the face more, and it's going to be more controllable. We did in R&D, we didn't publish anything, but we did real studies to where we hit it on the robot and we hit a soft compression golf ball versus a little bit firmer. And we turned the robot open to where we would see the actual shape of the shot, the launch angle, horizontal and vertical, and we can see the ball coming off differently. We can see it end up physically in a different part closer to the line. So you're going to get all those types of things from a softer core compression ball. If you're a player and you hit it solid and you want a firmer compression ball and be able to shape it more, then you may lean towards that. But if you want a little bit more forgiveness, you can always lean towards a softer golf ball.
And you mentioned the forgiveness, and something that's often overlooked is as we miss, and let's use driver as an example, as we miss around the face. I know you don't, but I do. As we miss around the center of the face, less energy is transferred to the ball a lower compression ball is easier to compress straight through.
Oh, absolutely. Totally. I mean, if you think of just physics, if the ball is softer, you're going to be able to smush it. I mean, you take like something like a racquetball, you can take a racquetball and you can actually smush it together. And then you take a baseball, you're not going to be able to smush it. So if you hit a racquetball, you can hit a racquetball a lot straighter off of a racket than you can with a baseball, because it's going to be hard. It's going to, curve and go all over the place. I don't know if that analogy was that great, but you know what I'm trying to say.
Funny tangent story here. Last time I was at Bridgestone headquarters, we were out filming. Actually, it was the second to last time I was there. I was with Morgan, and we were filming you talking about golf balls. And as I was walking backwards getting the shot, I got intimately familiar with that robot as I fell right on my ass.
I forgot about that. Thanks for bringing that up.
Yeah, dropped everything, camera included, and all because of that stupid robot.
You do anything for the content, man.
That's right.
He had it. He had it going. He was moving backwards. It's such a beautiful shot, and then boom, down went JB. None of us laughed.
Everybody laughed. New question on the screen for you.
What's the feedback been on the X versus XS with the crazy good cover tag? James, okay. Dude, the reactive cover has totally been kind of a game changer with, across the board. Obviously the tour players, they want to spin the ball, and we worked with those guys on the X and the XS, making sure the ball spins a little bit more and doesn't add a bunch of spin off the tee. But I'll tell you right now, with the RX and RXS, which most of our general public uses that golf ball, the amount of spin bump that we got up around the greens with the reactive cover has been insane. And we sent out, it's always a tricky thing. We sent you, JB, and a lot of your forum guys prototypes, which I see right over your other shoulder.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's always a tricky thing when you send out a ball without any information, right? Hey, be looking for spin around the greens, or, when you send a driver.
But if you remember correct, I sent you a message directly back, and I said the X has more spin than the XS used to have.
And that's exactly what we got across everybody. When we sent these blank prototypes, no information, we had so many people come back and just say, you guys did something to the cover. I can tell. And so leading up until the PGA show, when we kind of lifted the lid, all of our consumer feedback, tour feedback kind of led down that road of them actually feeling a huge difference in one model to the other. So we really felt like it was a step in, reinventing the tour ball and making it spin a little bit more without.
You got the marketing slogan in there.
Exactly. Without overspinning it off the tee and hitting these ballooners, but putting a lot of spin around the greens.
Next question is, how many Tiger shirts do you own?
Well,
and you'll like the second part of that question.
Am I the Tiger King? Oh, I'll tell you what. That documentary is wild.
So, since we like tangents on live and there's nothing anybody can do about it, who's the villain in that documentary?
It's funny because everyone's acting like they love Joe Exotics.
Yeah, that's absolutely insane, by the way. But
Carol, I mean, what? Like, it's one of those things. What's worse? I mean, she isn't convicted, so we can't really say anything. But I mean, what is good. Worse? Like,
neither's OJ.
Like, did you see where he actually commented about it? And
yeah,
said, and somebody said, finally an expert weighs in. So
my
Carol
question
Baskins,
is,
I mean, did she kill her husband? Or did Joe Exotics do
I don't know if
things
I'm
with animals?
I'm not sure she killed her husband. He may have been tired of her and just left. But here's my question. Of all the things we have going on in this country that people argue about, how in the world can people have zoos without a veterinarian?
I don't have no comment. I don't know. How can she have a zoo and then constantly berate what they do? She literally does the same thing. She sells tickets for people to come look at caged animals. And
I know it's about an hour from where I am right now.
It's wild. That is
when you first got the documentary, because you work in Covington, Georgia, and most people don't know it's not exactly a metropolis like Atlanta or anything. Were you thinking, okay, they're traveling around, there's definitely going to be one of these around here?
I'll tell you this, where I grew up in the Panhandle of Florida, I grew up in Cottondale, Florida. Right down the road, there was a place called Steel City, and there was a Steel City Zoo. And it was right there on 231, and everybody would pass it going to Panama City and stop. And it was there.
That's the original Redneck Riviera right there.
It was there until I was in middle school, high school, and that dude had like lemurs, and he had panthers, and he had boa constrictors in
oh my god,
freaking Steel City, Florida, in the Panhandle, and he had all this crazy stuff, and he would do a haunted mansion around Halloween, and people would go through the. I mean, that dude is Joe Exotic's 2.0 if he was still out there, but completely wild.
When you are, I'm trying to segue back. There's actually no good segue from Joe Exotics to golf balls. When you are doing your testing with prototypes and you're going with RX, RXS, those two, or X versus XS, or even RX versus X, what's the first thing you start testing? Is it long game or short game?
Well, we typically start with driver. And if we're testing our tour pros, we typically leave it up to them. Tiger likes to start around the greens, very short putts, chips, then moves on back till he gets to driver. Matt Kuchar and Lexi, we start with driver. We just start out hitting drivers, and then we work our way back to 6-iron, and then we work our way to the green. But from a consumer standpoint, we definitely start with driver, because that kind of, to us, it puts a finite fork in the road of where they're going to go on the next wave. So they're either going to be an RX user or they're going to be an X and XS user. And if we start on the tee, we can kind of see their swing speed. And, you know, people can say what you want about swing speed and how, at 8-iron, you swing a different speed. But when you swing driver, it extrapolates down to your other clubs. You're not going to have somebody swinging 105 miles an hour and then 85 with an 8-iron, and then another person swing 105 miles an hour driver and swing 100 with 8-iron. It's
whoa! You haven't read the internet recently.
Yeah, so it's a fine slope, extrapolated down through the clubs. So it really segues us, and we start around the green. I mean, we start on the tee. They hit a few shots, and then we kind of eliminate one or the other. So if they swing 90, we throw out X and XS, and then we continue on with RX and RXS.
New question for you is this, Chris, you met at Firestone at our event, and we talked about color and urethane balls. He'd like to know if he can get some red reactive covers.
You and me,
it's
both,
Tiger
brother.
Red, Adam. I'm surprised you don't have these done already.
Believe me, this one falls on Elliot Mello. No. All jokes aside, I mean,
he's not here. We can blame him, no problem.
Yeah, exactly. I've asked him for years, like, please. Ever since I've been in marketing, I've been in him and Ken Fujimura, which talks to our Japanese plant that makes our protos. I was like, can we please get a red urethane golf ball? And I felt like I was this close this year when we launched, because we kind of went back to that branding boxing to where X is black, XS is blue, and then we went to green. I was like, dude, would it be really cool to get like the colors in each ball, to match the box? And just from a promotional thing, how sick would that be? But
that would have been pretty cool. You could have done that with a Sharpie. Zach has nothing to do. You could probably ask him to do it.
Exactly.
For those that don't know, Zach does clubs and accessories. He's actually pretty busy. Speaking of Elliot, I'm going to give him a shout out. For those that don't know, Elliot's a championship barbecue guy. That's a true story. Championship barbecue guy, Memphis and May stuff.
Man,
real deal.
Yeah,
I know we talk a lot of barbecue on the THP forums. So,
he knows it. He knows.
Golf Unfiltered would like to know: was Elliot allowed near the ball slicer in your booth at the PGA show, and why not?
Well, we were afraid he was going to start cutting up slices so thin that we wouldn't even know they'd be there of meat. That's a Seinfeld reference, by the way. JB gets that one. Absolutely.
Okay, so we're not going to keep Adam here all day, but we have a couple of more questions I want to ask. The first is about VFit. Can you kind of walk people through that there's no wizard in their phone, and it's not make-believe, it's not hocus pocus, that you take a video, you're going to fit them. Nobody believes it's exactly the same as going to a full comprehensive ball fitting. Bridgestone's not saying that, but they are saying it's better than doing an online widget. Can you kind of walk them through what happens?
Yeah, perfect explanation there. I don't have much to say after that. So basically, VFit is a way that you can get fit, and like JV said, obviously this doesn't take the place of live.
Better
ball
view
fitting.
than Adam's beard right there, by the way.
It's please, yes. So we do have live ball fitting. Currently, we're postponed with everything going on. But if you can't get to a live ball fitting, then VFit is substantially better than just going through our online selection guide. And everybody kind of has an online selection guide, and you put your distance and what you want, and then boom, it spits out a ball. But when you go through VFit, you literally submit it to us. Someone in Covington, not in Covington right now, at the house, is sitting, he's analyzing this video. We have a software that kind of tracks your club head speed, tracks your ball flight. And so all the numbers that you're getting back are measured, except spin. Spin is calculated based on the entry questions, plus the launch angle, plus the attacking, a lot of different things. But you
a lot like how TrackMan makes it up.
Yeah, exactly. So you get all your data back. I mean, some people have never been on a launch monitor, nor can they have the opportunity to ever be on a launch monitor. So this is a way to kind of know. And we have people still ask us to this day, it's like, I don't have any idea what my club head speed is. So even if you're just going to try to learn one of those metrics of just club head speed, you kind of can have a general understanding. And then right now, if you do go through VFit, use the code THP, we will send you a sleeve that you fit into. You know, and that's a limited time offer right now.
Actually, not too bad. Just to take a quick video of your swing, not too bad to get free golf balls.
Absolutely. Everybody wants them. That's the number one question we get asked. Can you send me golf balls? And we're basically telling you.
I know I asked on this show already.
Then we will send you golf balls. There's somebody fulfilling every single day right now. One guy's analyzing, another guy's shipping.
It is not Zach.
No, it's not Zach.
Okay, so we're going to wrap this up. We have 2 off-the-wall questions. I'll go
Beautiful.
3. First, favorite Seinfeld episode ever?
Oh, I was literally hoping you would ask this. The butter shave. The butter shave is my favorite.
That's a really good one.
I didn't, of course I love the contest and, a couple other ones.
No, that one's overblown.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's great in its own right, but I wouldn't say it's the best episode. The butter shave to me is just perfect. You had Jerry up there blowing. He's got those suspenders on. But when Kramer walks in and he just has a stick of butter and he just starts talking to Jerry, just normal, like me and you were talking now. And then Jerry just goes, stop. What is this? What is this? Oh, I'm shaving. I just had a clean shave. I mean, it's the best. That episode is just amazing. What is that? Parsley?
What about Comedians in Cars? Favorite guest he's done?
I really like the Seth Rogen episode. I think it was this.
I just told Morgan that I thought that one sucked.
You did? Oh, I like.
Other than the fact that he got French fries for breakfast, which was cool.
Yeah. I'm a big Seth Rogen fan. I like a lot of his work. Love The Boys on Amazon. Have you seen The Boys?
Oh, that's fantastic.
Oh, just talk
about weird.
Yeah, but he made The Boys. But I like Seth Rogen. I think it's great. I think it's like, how many things could Jerry be good at? It's like he's so good at doing that, like interviewing people. Like who can? Yeah, no. I know. Who do you have on when they talk about golf? And it kind of crushed my spirit a little bit when he said, "I hate golf." And I was just like, oh, man. So
I think it was Larry David. I think it was the Larry David episode. I'm sure somebody will correct this. But
what season I do like of Comedians Cars is when he had all the Seinfeld people on. He had Jason Alexander, Michael Richards, and Julia Louis-Dreyfus.
Yeah, the Michael Richards episode was super awkward.
It was a little weird.
I got to go with Bill Burr personally, because Bill Burr is absolutely hysterical and he's so angry. But that was a really good one. Yeah. The Eddie Murphy one started out good, but went a little downhill for me. But overall, if you guys aren't watching this show, you need to. It's fantastic. They're only about 15 minutes long, and there's a ton of them. The Louis C.K. one was so funny too. Remember about the boat, and he got the boat stuck in the muck, and like they had this like cool little cartoon going on, and it was this long story. It took like a third of the show just to explain that story, and it was pretty amazing. And ironically, slightly before the interview with Louis C.K. would have gone a different direction.
Yes, exactly. Absolutely.
Well, we want to thank you for coming on. We have a lot more coming up with you guys, you, Elliot, possibly not Zach, maybe Dan, with the new launch and everything, and keeping everybody entertained, having some fun. That's the most important part. For those people who watched the video today, go when you're talking to Bridgestone Golf, make sure you acknowledge that you're talking to a real person. It's not a robot. Sometimes on the golf course, he's kind of robotic, but otherwise, real person, and let him know you like the video. So for Adam and myself, we're going to sign off. Thanks for joining in, guys.